Hello, good morning. I am recording this video at 3 a.m. exactly on April 17th, which is Thor's Day, Jupiter's Day. It is the hour of the night that is dedicated to the sun, and I wanted to come here specifically now to commemorate a bunch of very powerful transits that are happening for me right now that are related to my life's work, that are related to I think the reason why I'm here now, and I just wanted to share it with you and put it out into the world for posterity. So, right this moment marks the very end of an exact transit that, unless I live to be 124 years old, will be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I don't anticipate to live that long, but I'm leaving it open, you know. I am currently experiencing the Pluto square, which happens as one of four major midlife, they call them midlife crises, but I'm not feeling it that way. Pluto square, which happens between mid-30s to as up to like even 60 for people, when Pluto reaches the point at which it squares the place it was on your natal chart when you were born. I woke up specifically to make this video, so I'm keeping myself in the dreamy space, so it's kind of hard to put thoughts together. So that's the first one. That one began exactly on April, let's see here, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. That one began exactly for me. We track transits by degrees, 360 of them, and then by minutes, 60 of them. So that began exactly for me on April 8th. And then that will be going, because Pluto moves at the rate of one time around the sun, 248 years. That will be going for me in and out for a year and 8 months. And then the other one that's very specific to me is my natal chart has Neptune and Mercury conjunct exactly at 0 degrees of Capricorn within 10 minutes of each other. This has always been, since I've paid attention to a natal chart and begun digging into its mysteries, has always been fascinated to me. The 29th degree of Sagittarius is the sign and the crisis degree, or the sign of my birth, sun. I have a Sagittarius sun, and my Sagittarius sun is at 13:58, 13 degrees 58 minutes, right in the middle, and it is Cazimid Uranus, another big, slow-moving planet. Cazimid within 10 minutes, 1348, I believe. Cazimi being conjunct the sun. So my sun and my Uranus are right in the middle of Sagittarius, and then right at the beginning, very first degree, the inaugural degree, I have Neptune and Mercury doing the exact same thing. Now the other very mysterious but fascinating thing to me is that they both point to galactic points, which are black holes in our universe that we have found that are great attracting points. So the galactic center, which is the black hole at the center of our Milky Way, that exists at 27 and some minutes of Sagittarius. And being a black hole, we can give it about a 3-degree orb radius, which means that it's within 3 degrees of my Mercury and Neptune conjunction. And then there are 4 other ones that are in places in the natal chart that are larger and larger black holes that are intimately connected with our solar system. I think it's really only useful to connect or to track and feel into bodies and points that are in some way or another connected to our solar system intimately. The next one of those is the supergalactic center. The one after that, okay, so the supergalactic center is the black hole that's larger than the black hole that is our galactic center, and our galactic center is moving toward it. It's being pulled toward it, as well as a number of other galaxies. The one that's bigger than that is called the Great Attractor, and that one is the one that my Uranus and Sun are pointing toward at 14 degrees of Sagittarius. That one is the most exact one in my chart, almost. That one, did you hear the owls? I hope you heard the owls. I learned a fun fact about owls. They get chattier as the sun, or as the moon gets fuller. They get their chattiest at full moon. And we just passed a full moon. Now we're in a Sagittarius moon. Very special night for me. Okay, let's keep going. So the Great Attractor is taking hundreds, if not thousands, I can't remember, but hundreds of galaxies and is attracting them toward it. Then there's one larger one that is attracting, it's I think billions of times larger than our galactic center. It's a beautiful, beautiful chat. Billions of times larger than our galactic center. And that one is called a Shapley Attractor or Shapley Attractor. And that one is located on a chart at 3 degrees of Scorpio. The supergalactic, to go back a couple, is at 2 degrees of Libra, and that's the only one that I don't have anything lined up with. All the other ones I have something lined up nearly exactly. And the Pluto alignment for Shapley Attractor, or sorry, the Scorpio Attractor for Scorpio alignment for Shapley Attractor is conjunct Pluto, or lined up with Pluto for me natally. Pluto is a being that, to put shorthand to it, is associated to the underworld, is associated to transformation and is a modern ruler of Scorpio, so is very much at home in Scorpio, where it's found in my natal chart. And it is the being that is in charge of this square that I was just telling you about, which began on April 8th. Now, to go back to the one that's to do with Mercury and Neptune, that square, it's another square, that one started on April 13th, and it is ending right now at 3 a.m. Or not ending, the exactness of it is ending right now. Now, to break that one down a little bit, it is squaring what Mercury and Neptune are doing in our skies right now, which is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, which is, or once in a lifetime, because it happens once every 14 years or so, or I think it doesn't happen that frequently, but at 0 degrees of Aries, which is the starting place of all of the tropical zodiac. They call this the starting point, as we've been looking at in our deck and walk videos. So, Neptune reached 0 degrees on the 13th, 0 degrees and 30 minutes, which is, or 30? Yeah, 0 degrees and 50 minutes on April 8th? No, April 13th. And then Neptune moved on a couple minutes, but Mercury came to the exact minute that it was in my natal chart, 48 minutes at 3 a.m., which we've passed it now, but right now. So that was a little portal window of an exact square with my natal placement. Okay. Now the Neptune part of that square is another thing that's considered a midlife crisis that happens typically only once in people's lives. You don't get to another square, which will be the closing square. Neptune is 160 something. I can't remember the exact number of years it takes to get around the sun, but it's a long time, longer than a human life typically. So this square is happening at the exact time, or same time as the Pluto square, and it's going to take me many months to go through. I've mapped the Pluto one. I have not mapped the Neptune one exactly, but the Neptune one is very exciting because the Neptune has two once-in-a-lifetime conjunctions that are happening in it, during it. So we're going to get almost an exact conjunction of Neptune and Saturn in Aries coming in July 15th, and then in February 20th, I believe was the date, February 20th, 2026, Neptune and Saturn are going to align exactly at 0 degrees of Aries. Why this might, to hopefully give a little bit more of a picture of what happens, typically because of retrogradation. Every planet retrogrades, and if you don't know what retrogradation is, think of the passing cars analogy. So from our point of view, a planet will be moving forward along the ecliptic line, and then it will stop at some point, and then it will start moving backwards along the ecliptic line. What that actually means is that we are, or they are, lapping one another. And so the optical illusion is that it's moving forward and backward. But if two cars are moving, one's passing the other one, they're exactly along, and then one starts to pull back. What it looks like through the window is that it's starting to go backwards. We've all experienced that optical illusion. So that happens 3 times for every planet. And these slow-moving planets, which is why they're often associated with midlife crisis when they hit squares or oppositions, do so at a very, very long duration of time. So my Pluto square is going to take a year and 8 months, and my Neptune square is going to take probably close to a year. Why am I excited about this? A lot of people dread things like this, consider this bad news. This is like, the Pluto square is like, an astrologer will tell you if you're about to go through it or you're going through it, that it is a crumbling of all of the things in your life, mental, these typically tend to be psychological things, not physical things, but the things in your life that are not serving your higher aims, or that are not working for you, just burning away, falling away, tower moments, certainly. And then the Neptune square typically is thought of as disillusionment. It is the all the ways in which the dreams are not lining up with the reality of the life that you're living. It's painful. I love these things, and I find it such an honor and a gift that I am able to be aware of these before they come. And I believe that both of these squares I was aware of without putting exact, like I went through a chart and software, and I like found exactly when it's going to go in and go out, with the retrogradation. I did that recently, but up to a year ago, I could feel these coming in my body. And I did a couple of really key things. I found a group of supportive people that are also tracking these things and started working with them. And I also left almost every aspect of the former life that I was living, because I already knew that it wasn't working. I already knew that it was failing me in many ways, and it wasn't aligning with what I am here to do and what I'm here to bring and what I'm here to work on for the rest of my life as long as I have it. That's leaving a job, that's leaving an apartment and rent and living out in nature like I'm doing now. There's a lot of sacrifices that I deliberately made in order to consciously engage these large moments in my life, and I feel very, very fortunate to be able to be doing this consciously. Part of my purpose is that I hope that maybe I'll be able to help someone else navigate these when they come for them, so you don't have to feel them with fear. A lot of people even look at Mercury retrograde and just think generally Mercury retrograde, oh no, the technology's gonna go bad, everybody's gonna go crazy. I love Mercury retrograde, and I recently kind of learned a little bit more as to why. Are you leaving? I love you. Have a wonderful work day. Ashley works at 4 a.m. on Thursdays, so she's leaving for work. Okay, so Mercury retrograde. I love Mercury retrograde. One of the reasons why is that Mercury, Hermes, is my natal angel, my natal daemon. I did the ancient astrological practice of finding figurus. I can't remember what the Latin term is for it, but it is the crazy calculations that you do with all the planets and add and subtract and all this kind of stuff to find which being is not the ruler of your chart, but is they thought when they were making these calculations, they believed that this was your guardian angel, essentially. So Mercury is my guardian angel, and I feel that in so many ways. Uranus and Mercury are different expressions of the same energies in many ways. They are both and beings, like I am. They are fluid. They move between worlds. They're communicators. So Mercury, I found Mercury to be my daemon, my natal daemon, and since doing that calculation, Mercury has been helping me work with all of these transits, and I hope this to be a lifelong practice. So, what is the Mercury conjunct Neptune thing for me? Mercury is also, besides the moon, the fastest moving planet. So Mercury zips around the zodiac, and the ecliptic line zips around in 88 days and does little loop-de-loos 3 times. Actually, the movement of Mercury is associated to pi 3.14, which is something we can get into at another time. Pretty awesome. But he does little loop-de-loos around the ecliptic line like this, dances, moves above and below, like we know that Mercury does, moves from the overworld to the underworld with ease, dances around, runs backwards with his winged sandals. Anyway, I love Mercury. It's a beautiful being. Okay, so what does this conjunction mean or feel like in my life? Well, it's happening in that cuspy place right between Sagittarius and Capricorn for me natally. So what that means for me, or feels like for me, is that I have access to a dream world and a world of imagination. I have forever, since I was a child, a world of the imaginal, to borrow from Henry Corbin. We'll talk about him more later. The world of the imaginal that exists beyond form, that exists beyond the realm of Saturn. When we first discovered Neptune beyond Saturn in the late 1800s, we thought it was it's a crazy-making planet. It's beyond the boundary that that Saturn represents. And Saturn, if you remember, is Kronos, which is time as linear. So Saturn, for as long as we've been observing planets with our naked eye, has been the boundary point of all the planets. We knew Saturn to be the boundary point, holding everything together. Jupiter, an expansive helium, expansive planet. Jupiter is limited by Saturn. He can only expand as far as Saturn. However, Neptune we found to be this, like, dreamer beyond the edge. And since the discovery of the way quantum mechanics work, the way particle wave duality works, we started to flip the script on what Neptune was doing for us. Neptune is more real than the reality that we have placed as supreme, which is the reality of linear time. Einstein said that linear time is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one, to paraphrase. So we discovered that Saturn is the illusion and that Neptune is the reality. So I have always found that Mercury has helped me flit in and out of this imaginal world, and in inspired moments, in moments of alignment, bring it back into the hard work of my reality. And I've done this unconsciously for many years, but I'm 40 now, And the rest of my life is going to be about doing this consciously. When we hit February 20th, I believe, and Saturn comes conjunct with Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries, that is a collective moment, which to me represents making the dream a reality. So for this entire year leading up to that, I'm working with these squares, Pluto and Neptune squares that are happening for me and in me. I'm working them consciously to burn away all of the ways, Pluto, burn away all of the things that are the patterns in my life. I didn't talk about the houses. So in Pluto, we're looking at the 6th house and the 9th house. So 6th house, Pluto is in my 6th house natally, and then Pluto is in, that's doing the square right now, is in the 9th house for me natally. We'll talk about houses more another time as well. And the shorthand would be 6th house is practice, 9th house is quest, associated to Sagittarius. So, I am being invited over the next year and 8 months to reevaluate my practice. Doing this video right now is very much related to that. I did a big overhaul with Ashley yesterday, this Sunday, which I didn't realize was right when this transit was beginning, of realigning myself with waking up in time to be able to experience the sunrise every single day. I hope this is a practice every single day for me. Also, a practice that I hope will be with me for a very long time, but a way to relate to the beings of our cosmos that we can observe. I intend to have a chat with the beings of every day that they rule. Not they rule. Every day that is their day of honor. Moon Day, I had a chat with Selene, the moon, this Monday at sunrise. I sang her a little song. I took a look at the Orphic hymn that existed. That was a hymn to her. On Tuesday, I had a chat with Mars, and Mars showed me some amazing things. And I'm realizing this is something Carl Jung talked about, active imagination. His entire Red Book was engaging a process that he coined as active imagination, which is he was literally going to and communing with and conversing with figures in the imaginal realm. And he was talking to Jesus, he was talking to all kinds of people, talking to mythological figures, planets as well. And this, when I first learned about it, was a very romantic idea for me. It seemed to make sense, but up to very recently, I didn't do it. I didn't anchor it into practice. Well, I started this week anchoring it every day into practice at sunrise. So Tuesday, I had a chat with Mars, and I can't tell you how easy it was to converse. This is not a reverent thing. This is just giving an hour every day, if you can, to this being and saying, are you willing to work with me? Do you want to talk? Do you want to have a chat? Everything that you can teach me, I would love to share with others. And it's as simple as that. So I'll talk about what Mars showed me, what Mars showed me in another video, because we're already getting at 29 minutes here. This Tuesday. Wednesday, yesterday, my old pal Mercury. I re-listened to the entire Homeric hymn to Mercury, which is a hilarious story if you have not yet listened to it, and engaged the Orphic hymn to Mercury. And we just talked, and Mercury let it be known very much that he is, or they are, the interlocutor that I have been feeling them to be. They are helping me translate all of these other planets, and they will do it for anyone. They're tricky and fun and punny and full of wordplay and a blast to work with, an absolute blast to work with. If you are not conscious about your interactions, they might trick you. They might run you around and send you on a wild goose chase. If you consciously engage, they're going to be your questing ally in a way that you would never imagine was possible. So, where was I? Okay, and then the houses that the Neptune square engages for me, since they're on a cusp, it really depends on how you draw your house system. If you do equal houses or whole sign houses, they are going to be the 7th house, which is the house of partner, and the 10th house, which is the house of legend. Or if you do more of the time-based systems, they are going to be in the 8th house, which is the house of depth, or the 11th house, which is the house of team. So it's going to be my job to kind of tease out which or both and of these themes, houses, that I'm meant to be exploring. But the Neptune one, practice and quest, is very straightforward. How is my daily practice? How is my day-to-day, my chores, my tasks, how are they serving my greater quest? And I aim to iron that out in a way that I've never done so specifically over the course of this next year and 8 months. I wanted to get on here and proclaim it to the world. Now, I'll leave it with one last tiny thing, which is about what I hope to bring to others. There's one dimension to always smile that I have coined imaginative historiography. It is evocative of the practice, but what is imaginative historiography? What is historiography? It is the study of history, the way in which we gather historical detail, and the way that evolves over time when we have new information that comes into play. That's the traditional definition of historiography. What is imaginative historiography? That is looking to take this practice of historiography and take personal stories. I'm going to take my personal story. I've been doing this for over the past 4 years. My personal story, and I'm trying to unmoor it from the boundaries of linear time using imagination and recognizing myself in the cosmos as at least relative to this experience, an eternal being. I want to help others do the same thing. It is a treasure hunt of an adventure. I want to do it for individuals, or I want to help individuals do this for themselves. That's a better way to say it. And I want to continue doing it for me because it is literally changing my life. It is enchanting my entire life. It is engaging all of reality as a living being, facets of one being that we get to experience never in this lifetime as a whole one unified being, but only in its facets. And the more that we can engage in practices like analogy and fractal ways of thinking, the more that we can navigate our lives and unmoor ourselves from the constraints of linear time. Disillusionment is a beautiful thing. Disillusionment is a beautiful thing because we see that how Saturn has set boundaries around the dream. That's something you can work with. That's something you can work with. Disillusionment is not a depressing thing. Burning away the patterns that don't work toward your highest aim is not. It can be painful if you don't engage it consciously, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I love it. I love the process of disintegrating. doing it consciously, asking Pluto to help me do it, help me see it, help me move through it. It's wonderful. So cheers. Cheers to that. Here's my candle. Here's my spring water. Here's to the world that we're building. Here's to the world that we're bringing into form through the active imagination. This world is not going to persist for humans if we do not engage this practice. We see it all around us. Everything is crumbling. The fear-based being is grasping at straws in our world right now, and they are a Macbeth. They will tear the world down with them. That is not going to happen for me. I am going to persist. You are going to persist. The only way we're going to do so, the only way we're going to bring form to this dream, this beautiful dream of what this planet can be, what this planet wants to be. Gaia is screaming to be. Imagine how long she's held herself in the constraints of 3D reality for our comfort. Think of it as that, as a sacrifice. She's ready to move past the confines of our linear perception as well, just as much as you are. Let's make the dream a reality. Let's bring form to our imagination. And let's change everything. The beings that are our planets, they are at our backs. They are supporting this in every way. All of the large planets are moving into fire and air signs over the next 2 years. They want this to happen. We have all the support. We have to allow the old to crumble away. We have to allow it to die, so that the new can be reborn. Pluto in Aquarius, that when the I dies is when the we is born. That is all of our birthright. That is the reason I would suggest that we are, if you're listening to this video, it's probably certainly true, that we are all here, why we came to be here at this time. We came to witness. We came to witness, and we came to bring the new. I love you. Let's go. Let's go.